In a bubble, there's always a pin. In a bubble, there's always a pin.
Yeah, right. Well, and okay, we're gonna start there. Before we do though, anybody who doesn't know Juan and the Nefty team, like just go back and watch all the shows that we do with these guys all the time, and the fact that we bring them up every show. I do want to make sure right up front, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this coming Friday, we're doing another Uplift DAO happy hour. So that's going to be a Twitter Spaces, but we're actually going to be meeting at the Nefty headquarters, and that is in Old World. You can find a portal. In the basement of the portal hub in Old World, or you can actually just go, if I'm not mistaken, basically straight west, and you'll hit it. You can find it on the world maps, and
we actually have an article. I'll throw it in the chat right now, so you guys can link to it, and you can find the coordinates, and you can find it easily.
Maybe
Old World map is a little bit bigger. The font sizes, so you kind of have to find the direction. I definitely recommend going back and putting in one of those maps. In the top corner that shows you where you are, and you can follow the coordinates. It's really quite easy once you.
You know what? To make it even easier though, like we should get a portal right from the portal hub, like super easy to find. Smashing the face right.
Better, yes.
Right, and then we can just leave it up there for the week, right? So whoever we feature every week, we have an automatic portal to get people over there.
I love it. Like just a new happy hour portal.
Happy hour portal. I like it. Yeah. I'm in. Sign me up. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna end up talking about the thing that we're the Luna stuff a little bit, because we have friends. It hit Jimmy pretty hard. I was close to putting a significant percentage of my stuff over there, thinking that because I'm mostly in wax, right? Thinking that it was going to be a really good way to just secure some of my bag, right?
Diversify yourself, right?
Right. And I think where we get to take this conversation, because Juan, your attitude is pretty much the same as ours. Like, okay, this happened, right?
Yeah.
And it's lame, and but like we're already the distance between feeling uncomfortable about that and like working to find solutions so that as a community we are more anti-fragile. It's a pleasure to work with people that automatically start thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, and it's I have to say it's awful. It feels like being hit by a train.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, what can you do? The only thing that you can do is move forward,
mm-hmm.
and start thinking a lot about real Web3 and decentralization, because a lot of what happened here, it's the tokenomics, the way that Luna works and so on, they might have been not as strong as everybody thought.
Mm-hmm.
But what is very important there is centralization. Everything depending on one single entity. That's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's extremely dangerous. With only the Luna Foundation, the Terra Foundation, I don't even remember the exact name right now, and I don't want to.
LFG or something, right?
Yes, exactly. The LFG.
Yeah.
If everything relies on one centralized institution,
you
have a problem. You have a problem, because if they are not able to react in the good way, then we have a problem here.
Right. On the flip side, I was thinking about the way that Tether's set up, right? And we always have to assume that the way that the Tether set up, something else can happen. But this kind of attack would never work on Tether because it's not automatic, right? Like it's
not algorithmic, exactly.
Right. And the only way to get in and out with large tranches is to go through that centralized entity, and they could just say no. Right. So like that's interesting to me, right? Because there can be power.
Fair, they could also blacklist your account whenever the hell they wanted, right?
Yeah, but that's true. That's true anyway, right? Like that's true everywhere they think is decentralized, they can do that, right? So like that except maybe Bitcoin, right? But like that anywhere where there's people running smart contracts, there's a possibility of that, as you found out yourself.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right? And there could be another vector, because I personally I would be shocked if USDT wasn't leveraged up their ass, right? Like, and what I say is they say they have as many USD as they have Tether. I don't believe that for a second. And the main thing is if you think banks do, you're freaking crazy, right? We know that banks definitely do not have $1 for every dollar that's on their books, right?
Well, we know that banks, what was it last year, Corey? They basically said, oh yeah, we're not going to hold any fiat anymore. We're just going to go right to zero, right? Like before it was something like they had to hold 6%.
Well, they still do. Sorry, Juan, go ahead.
But normally what you have with banks is they work based on a fractional reserve. So they must have at least a certain amount of fiat to back to back the total deposits of their customers. So there is way more regulation there, and those levels are considered safe. But here there's really nothing. And but if you were talking about Tether, and Tether also lost its peg last week. It went to 94 cents on Binance.
I did not know that.
Yes, Tether also lost its peg after the Terra Luna thing, and it went back up to 99 and a little bit. But yeah, it also happened. It also can happen, but they managed it very quickly. They reacted, and it's managed in a very different way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they can have shocks to their system, but it's going to be managed because you can't have hundreds of billions of dollars going in and out of that because they just simply wouldn't do it. Right. So like, you know, having that situation where, you know, they can essentially, to a certain extent, halt trading on USDT themselves. Right. Just by not filling the order books that are on the major exchanges. So you can have a run on it, but that run is going to sort of have a maximum damage point. And then, you know, it can come in and they can allow it to stabilize and sort of, you know, rebalance itself or whatever. Right. By the way, for the couple people watching this, share this out because everybody needs to, you know, be in on this conversation. I'm going to do the same thing. Go ahead, Jimmy.
So, yeah, just to clarify this, the Federal Reserve Government official site, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, as announced on March 15, 2020, the board reduced reserve requirement ratios to 0% effective March 26, 2020. This action eliminated reserve requirements for all depository institutions.
Wow.
That was one of the measures that they took during the pandemic. So like they actually lowered it from where they were to zero now. And so like that's kind of was a big thing. So like, sorry, I just wanted people to understand that, right?
Thank you for bringing that.
They don't actually have anything in there.
Anyone crying about USDT not having a dollar for every dollar, just like, if they have any,
then it's already good.
So, yeah,
it's already good.
One of my mates, you know, like you said, a lot of people got hit really hard. One of my mates, he got hit quite hard as well, and I mean, you know, he was about to take some out, and he just hadn't done it yet, and. You know, he made out well. He lost a lot, but he also made out well. But he posted a tweet, which I thought was hilarious the other day. And he's just like, look, you know, the UST was a stable coin that was tracking fiat. Fiat has been a Ponzi. So stop crying about Ponzi's. If you're tracking a Ponzi, you're probably going to end up being a Ponzi, right? And it's people like Juan. It's people like him. You know, Corey's seen me through some dark times as well. But like eventually we all get over it. Right, like Corey kind of gave me a bit of a kick in the ass, and he's like, "Dude, like, just figure out how to deal with this because I need you. Like, I need you here to help me because we got to build shit, right?" And like, so you do get in that. Like,
I'm so sensitive,
right? No, like,
empathetic. Like, yeah, you have problems. Figure it
out. No. Like, I mean, we do this with each other, right? But like, I'm sure, like Juan, you went through the exact same thing, right? Like, it takes a while, but it's just like, why are we in this space? I mean, we're in this space to build. We're in this space to do. You know, some really amazing things. Now, I kind of want to touch on this too because I thought that this was interesting. You know, as if you haven't seen it, I think it comes out today. I did a really fast talking, like imagine this, like times 100 because we were on a really short time span with Crypto Blood yesterday, talking all about the uplift and you know where we're going, where we came from, and where we headed from. Definitely, you know, keep an eye out for that. And we were chatting a little bit after the show, and I had another friend. Who kind of made another mistake, right? Like he did everything right. You know, he went in there, he picked up the UST, he had it split with Luna, he diversified into the ecosystem, right? He diversified by like, you know, doing all these IDOs and all of these things, right? The problem was he never really pieced 2 and 2 together that if the protocol fails, pretty much everything that's running on that layer fails as well, right? So, you know, he got doubly screwed too, which is...
Well, and this is, I think, goes to the cycle.
You know,
go ahead,
for me, personally, I got triple hit because I got hit with Anchor, because I had some Anchor. I got hit with Luna, and I got hit with Terra. all the three of them. But the thing is this: what happens if you believe in the project and you have your Luna staked? It's impossible to sell it. You have to wait 21 days to get it back. So you're basically over.
Right.
UST, you can try to get it out, but it's now. And if you want to take it out now, you take it out at 10% of what you had. So So it's kind of crazy, but you know what I wanted to say is that the moment we got into crypto, we were aware that there was a risk, and everybody tells you that. What happens is that we don't remember that every day, but everybody tells you this protocol can go to zero. Investing in crypto is risky, and we should be aware of that and diversify in the best possible way. And make proper allocations. Don't invest more than what you can lose. Have your emergency fund in fiat. Have everything in place.
Yeah.
And also, on the other hand, come on, who of you guys have not made a lot of money with crypto? And if
that's right, that's exactly it, right? And this is kind of where I wanted to take it. It's like this is a black swan event. People new to crypto would be reasonable thinking, oh my God, the sky is falling. But anybody who's been around crypto, certainly anyone that's studied it since its beginning, realizes this is just another black swan event among 5 or 6. Right? Like this is going to happen in this space. It's going to be very public. The numbers are getting bigger, right? It's the news. It's going to be like, oh my God, Bitcoin's dead. Go to bitcoinobituaries.com. Because every time a major outlet, and I think they actually called it 99 obituaries, but there's like 500 now for Bitcoin, right? This happens all the time. This is not abnormal, right? The first one was Mt. Gox. They had, what ended up being hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in the first few years on an exchange that had a security to trade fucking digital cards, right? Like it was like hilariously insecure, and people just automatically put all their Bitcoin there thinking it was safe, and then they got robbed, right? Like they got robbed easily. Like it wasn't hard to do. They just said, it was nuts. So, but that was like kind of the first one, right? Bitcoin takes a crash and then it comes back up. Interestingly enough, if you look at the timing, Bitcoin's still on a 4-year cycle. Some kind of black swan event is going to occur, but it's going to come into usually like a supercharged market, and then it's going to cool, and then there's going to be a couple of years where people like the people on this show are going to work their asses off, and we will be around when the next dramatic upswing happens.
Well, I think that there are 2 important learnings, and one is you have to really diversify. If you were not doing it, you have to really manage your risk properly.
Yep.
But also, if you are here, take the learning, take the opportunity, and keep on building, because this is not over. This was just a setback or whatever, but it's not over. And the best thing we can do is keep on building, keep on working, keep on trying to innovate, and do whatever we can to move forward. There's nothing else to do.
So, I mean, I have a question, right? Because, I think Corey and I have kind of been thinking about this as part of our team as well. I think we all know some people that have been hit. They paralleled this to basically, the Lehman Brothers event of the crypto world, right? That's what this was, right? But as a developer, right? As a team, NeftyBlocks has done so much for the space. I mean, you guys have been, innovative in almost everything that you've done, coming from the staking with the Nefty tokens, with all of this stuff. As Corey mentioned at the beginning of the show, go back, and every time you come on here, except for one, you're like, we're doing this thing. It's not a big deal. And it's always a big deal, right? And the only time that we ever shed a tear for you was when you couldn't get out of your head that you hadn't done enough. And we had you on 2 weeks before, and it was like, oh, well, this was supposed to be out yesterday. But anyway, so you're looking at this space now, right? And you're looking at what happened with this UST, and you guys have been here grinding for a year, right? And pushing through some solid hardcore updates that have advanced the space in multiple ways, right? People can stake Nefty now, they can use Nefty, they can use multiple different tokens. You guys are always pushing updates. Now, how does something like this event that happened, over in the Terra ecosystem, how does that kind of tweak your mindset for, changes that you have for your platform going forward that now you will bake into, you know, assure new users, because especially with NFTs and gaming and what you guys do, there's a lot of new people that are coming in, and there might be like people who are, you know, a little bit afraid, a little bit scared off of that. Is there any, you know, insight that you have because of this event that will actually make your protocol better?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And not only our protocol, I think that there's one thing that we learned, and it's the risks of centralization. And this is a conversation that I haven't started up yet, but I want to start this conversation with the rest of the block producers on Wax. Because to be honest, at the moment, we are extremely centralized. Wax is extremely centralized. Having only 21 block producers, for me, it's kind of a risk. But there's no much we can do that. The chain has 21 block producers, and that's it.
What's the risk? Like, and it's like, because I've thought about this too, right? Because like people think that Bitcoin is decentralized. It's not, right? There's 5 companies. It's very not.
In that
right?
sense, it's
there's
very not. I agree with
5
you.
companies that have almost 60% of the mining. That is far less decentralized than EOS or Wax, right?
But there's a big difference there. If you want to start mining Bitcoin, you can. If I want to start mining Bitcoin, I can. And if those companies disappear, it will be a huge opportunity for a lot of us to go there and start mining.
Right.
Try to do that on Wax. Try to do that on Wax.
So like thinking in terms of, like, don't they have like a standby system though where that's
I get what you mean.
That's not good enough.
Wax is kind of
don't know enough about it.
Wax is kind of a bit of a cartel. Like I think EOS is a lot more decentralized than Wax, right? Like Wax is kind of
look how that's going.
Right.
It's a little bit different, but there's another thing that is extremely important. It's not only about getting to the top 21. If you think about this, too many of the nodes of Wax are with one hosting provider there. So if that hosting company goes down, I'm pretty sure Wax will have serious problems recovering.
It'll just be EOS USA and his freaking potato server farm after that. That's a really good point. Yeah.
And those are things that we have to work on. We are Wax. In the end, we are Wax. Thinking that Wax is one company, it's kind of not true. We are Wax. All the people who are part of this and all the ones who are building on the blockchain. So we have to work to make that more resilient and make sure that that we have a business for a long time, and that what we do does not depend on the decision of one person.
Yeah, and I think
that's very important.
I couldn't agree more, right? Like if we can identify an existential risk, and I totally believe that you have with, you know, what we're doing on Wax. I mean, that's everybody's business. That's all of it, right? Like all the projects working on it. And I think it's way too easy for us to get complacent about it because the stuff just works, right? Generally speaking, it just works. And like, I mean, if there was ever a season to be operating under the assumption that you could have an existential risk that could totally destroy everything you're working on in a day, it's now, right? Like we've seen it. We know that it's possible, and just sticking our heads in the sand about it is not going to solve anything.
We're going to have to make sure that we remember, because like we're kind of doing this partnership with EOS for, you know, Wax block production, and we're going to have to make sure that we remember that we kind of get away from that, right? Because I never actually thought about what you said, Juan. I remember like back in the day on EOS where you know, that DeFi platform was hacked. And it took like a few days, you know, Corey, I wasn't there, but you actually had the conversation with Yves LaRose about like this whole thing. On one of our shows, and it took them a few days to do it, but in the end they were able to, you know, basically lock the accounts and get a lot of the tokens back. So I had always just assumed that was, you know, better, but like if what you're saying is true, especially on Wax where everything's running basically in the same place, right? I mean, the dinosaurs died for a reason. So maybe we need to maybe we really need to address this. I'd be interested to see, like, maybe Corey, we could maybe even throw this into our show mix. And Juan, you could maybe lead it. Like maybe we could get as many of the block producers as we could
100%.
like on some of these channels, and we could hash this out in public and talk to people about like what we could do about it if you were into that one.
100%. I think we host a block producer panel with up to 5 block producers at least monthly. So one, we are doing some work with generators. Jimmy's been with them for a long time, right? And so they're really, really cool. I don't know if you've met them yet, but they're awesome. You would love them.
No, I haven't met them, but it will be very nice to meet them, I think.
Yeah, right.
And I think I think we can talk and build together.
Right.
And that's what really matters.
100%, right? So if we can build a critical mass of the block producers that are sort of willing to look at this honestly, and then figure out how to solve for an existential risk. I mean, it's in everyone's best interest to make sure that we do this, right? Even if it's down to like, hey, if everyone's using AWS, let's maybe not do that or whatever, right? Like there's going to be a solve for it as long as we identify the issue and there are enough people willing to come in and take advantage. Well, and I think too, like I wonder, one, in thinking about becoming more anti-fragile, I'm super sensitive to the idea that not everyone can be a block producer, right? It's not as simple. Yeah. So I wonder if you could even just have like a 2-tier system, right? You have the token distribution or inflation that's coming from the main 21, right? And I think there's supposed to be a system where there's the backup. But what if it was super freaking easy to put backups up and you were earning like something, right? Like it was worth it to do it just for whatever, like just because there's like a little bit tied to it, if not a whole lot.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know how to answer that or what to say about that because
me neither. I just talk on the internet. I have no idea.
It's no, but it's true. What happens if we have indefinite amount of standby block producers? I think that then the wax tokenomics might not be enough to pay everybody out. So
well, this is kind of the thing, right? Like
and I don't know. I'm just saying it might be. I don't really know how it works.
Right. That's the thing. Like it could it be enough to incentivize anyone to pick it up, right? Because when Bitcoin mining first came out, or like Bitcoin mining now, like it's you can't get into Bitcoin mining and like make any money, right? Like it's really, really hard to do, but the price dynamics go up. So I think I wonder if there is some kind of dynamic balance. This is a guess, right? Where if there's any ability to get the token at all, I think you're going to have some people running gear to earn wax speculatively, right? They're not thinking like, I'm going to make $1 worth of wax this month. It's like wax is going to go to $1 and I'm going to have $10 worth of wax in 6 months or whatever it is.
Well, and as it comes to, as far as it concerns EOSIO as well, like with maybe the exception of Ultra, wax is actually one of the hardest chains to be a block producer on, which has always been kind of, quoted as being an advantage because they, I think they have to go through like quite a rigorous proof and what do you call it? Like proof and kind of, they have to go through a system to prove that they're able to do this properly, right? Whereas like I think a lot of that came from I forget what it's called, but it's like the wax general advisor or something like that. They have
the general inspector.
The general inspector, and then they vote on things like that. So there is that kind of kind of core ideology that's backed up there. But I think a lot of that as well came from seeing how a lot of the block producers on EOS were connected to exchanges. And they weren't really, pulling their weight as far as what was happening in the ecosystem. Now, that's not to say that they're not pulling their weight by providing liquidity and things like that, right? But like I was always quite critical of Binance, for example, because like they're not listing any EOS pairs. But they're still getting in, and Binance is great, and they're doing their own thing, but like they're kind of competition. So I think like there's a really interesting way to look at that, and like rolled up within that block production system is also like Corey kind of mentioned, like how can you be more competitive to be able to diversify and add more layers to this decentralized idea that you have one. So again, like let's come back to this. Corey, I'd love this idea because we haven't done roundtables in a while. So like getting 5 different people from 5 different block producers on Wax, or even 2 or 3 with you, me, and Juan, and coming on here and just hashing all of this out in the public, in the open, because like you said, Juan, like we are Wax, right? Like
is Rempel still the ombudsman?
I think he is. I think there's only been 2. I think, I think he is.
So we could probably get him to come on too.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not sure how long they last for, but I think it's quite a while. It might even be a year. So.
All right, cool. Yeah, that just happened a few months ago.
But so this is interesting because like we've pulled this up with Juan before as well, right? Hey Juan, we need NeftyBlocks on EOS. I think both EOS and Nefty will.
I think EOS will benefit a lot more than Nefty.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. Okay, I wanted to say exactly something about that. And part of the resilience that we are adding, we are already working on that. We are not working on EOS specifically because going to EOS might be interesting, but for us, going to EOS is not the most interesting at the moment. That said, we are working on making NeftyBlocks agnostic of the EOS IO chain we are working in. And you will see us, I hope, in a couple of weeks on a different EOS IO blockchain. And we are ready to go to another EOS IO blockchain head.
Hey, you know that
really
one
exciting, right?
Okay. Hey, you know that one we're both going to. I don't know if we've announced anything about that yet. I would love to time it so that we launch on that chain at the same time and on your platform.
Yeah, that one is amazing, and we will be there, but we will go to another blockchain before.
Can you say which one?
I will tell you. We will go to Proton. We will go to Proton.
Really, Proton? That's interesting. That's great.
Huh. Yes. We will go to Proton, and the real reason why we chose Proton to go to, it's because the onboarding is so freaking easy. You can really get money into Proton in a simple way.
It's
a blockchain where, and you can have stable coins. You can do a lot of things there. So we think that Proton, it's a blockchain with a lot of potential.
Fascinating.
It's small. Right now it's small. But I'm
hey, listen,
for today. I'm here for the next month, years to be.
I know those guys pretty well, right? Like Fred was one of the people that when I explained the idea around the uplift, kind of laughed at me and then wouldn't talk to me anymore. Love you, Fred. He's busy, whatever. That's fine. It's a ridiculous idea. And I had nobody you should have listened to me back then because I was a nobody knew, whatever. Right. Not that I'm anything now, but I would never have thought to go to Proton at all. The fact that you just said that suddenly just popped up to the top of my priority list, right? Because anywhere Nefty goes, Uplift is going to get a footprint.
And they actually have a decent NFT market already, but there's not really a marketplace over that right?
No, they're not doing any volume.
No, exactly.
Look at this. What really happens is that for us right now, this is not only about the NFTs thinking about the JPEG, the PNG. NFTs are way more than that. NFTs must have utility. NFTs must allow us to bring real world companies, real world enterprises, and do business on the blockchain. So that's why we have been working on redeemables. That's why we have been working on a lot of things, because we think that this is way bigger than only the art. Of course, I'm not saying art is not important. Art is amazing and it's an essential part of NFTs. But being able to onboard companies with real life products, being able to buy a bottle of wine, being able to buy a pair of shoes, being able to buy craft beer, being able to buy things from the real life and trading all of that as NFTs, it's amazing. And
so basically NFT
opportunity there.
So basically NFT coupons is what you're talking about.
You could say coupons, but I think that thinking about coupons is very limited in the sense that what you
vouchers,
really need
NFT vouchers.
There's a long-standing joke on this show that
okay.
Jimmy wants to reduce everything. Every once in a while, he'll bring up NFT coupons, and that's why I started laughing my ass off. Thank you for taking that question seriously. Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I want to chat with you guys off air to see if there's anything that we could or should do to have something with you guys over there, because I think you're right. Just to kind of reiterate, let me know if I sort of understood this correctly. You're making the bet, and I think it's a good one, that because of the reduction in onboarding friction, right, and the fact that it's more integrated in legacy financial institutions. Again, like Proton, they actually have a banking charter, right? So they did some interesting things with Metal, which is a company they're partnered with, or it's kind of the same company or whatever, right? And so that's going to allow companies like real kind of Web 2 companies or brands, whatever, to get in maybe easier.
Just think about this. if I go to my mother and I tell her, okay, look, you can buy this thing as an NFT. First, convincing her of the NFT will be hard work.
Right.
But if I tell her, okay, and you have to buy wax, oh, I lost her. But if I tell her, you can go here with your bank account and you can transfer to this account, and they will immediately give you the equivalent in US dollars in a stable coin. Oh, what is a stable coin? Don't worry, it's something that it's the same.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Totally safe. It's totally safe.
Don't buy UST. That's the only thing I will tell her. So don't choose UST because then you're fucked. But
oh, mom.
but come on, that's the point. It's very easy to onboard someone who's not in the crypto world when you give them that kind of facilities, when you give them that easy process, that smooth process. And that's what Proton has. And then I think that I can go and do my own marketing and bring people and partner with real world companies, and we can market together and bring a new audience in. But if I try to do that with a blockchain where creating a wallet is very difficult, and here I'm not referring to Wax, I'm referring to EOS, because creating a wallet in EOS, I think it's much harder than in Wax. Sorry for that, Jorge Rubio, but still, we're not saying that we're not going to EOS. We will go to EOS also at some point. It's just not our first priority right now.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, we really think this is something that can be a good move.
I think long term there's a really solid chance you're right, especially considering like the way that you phrased it, right? Like if you go, that I think that there's just a lack of market activity going on at Proton, right? But like if you guys are saying, listen, I'm going to go over to where I think it's the onboarding experience is going to be easier, and I'm going to bring that market activity myself, that's super interesting, right? And now, the Uplift kind of needs a map over there for all those projects that you're going to bring in to have headquarters.
Cool. Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but
don't threaten me with a good time.
It's interesting though, because like Corey and I kind of met, as Proton was being born, because we were playing around with the Lynx wallet, and like I remember, that was around the time that they kind of ported away and did their own thing, and they were always like, that was a couple of years ago at least, maybe more, but they were always talking about the fact that like that was their big thing, was the EOS onboarding was horrendous and they were going to fix it, right?
And they did, right? Like
indeed.
I launched Shipple on like just the stupid joke token that just refuses to die, which I find deeply hilarious. But that, like, the only way that became interesting at all is because the Lynx wallet was so easy that my mom could literally set it up. Like that's an actual thing, right?
Yeah.
So the people that were holding Shipple, and we were like giving it away for memes and stuff or whatever, right? But the reason why it became so popular, 90% of people had never held crypto before in their lives. And the first token they had was Shipple because of that wallet. So like they are really, really good at this. Now that wallet is entirely dead and you can't use it for anything anymore. But like, they've moved on to other things.
Yeah. So that's what we want. A layer that allows us to move between different EOS.io blockchains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's that's going to be brilliant, especially just the well, and like we're going over to NewCoins, the other one, guys. If you guys haven't heard of that, we're part of the New Moon Accelerator. Yeah. And our friend Chan hooked us up with that. I was actually in a meeting with those guys right before this, and it awesome, very, very interesting high end brands going over there. Like it's going to be an interesting spot. So Uplift is going to have a
absolutely that one will be very interesting too, and
really
I'm looking forward to being there. I think it's a completely different paradigm, so it will also be very interesting being there.
Yeah, I totally agree. And again, like this is us, like you're watching companies diversify in real time, right? Because we have to do it, right? Like that, I think none of us know or can know which chains are going to be the actual winners and start capturing a market away from Ethereum, if any, frankly, which is why we're going to Ethereum. and I think personally that they will, and I think a lot of them will, but we don't know. And so companies that aren't diversified all over this space, that is an existential risk.
Yes, and I think doing Ethereum, it's a smart choice. And the only reason why we are not doing Ethereum today is because we think that we already have built something, a platform that it's very good, very solid. We haven't published all of what we have for the platform yet, but all of what we have been developing is first, as I said, to bring real world into the blockchain through NFTs. That's what we are building. And first diversification is going to eosioweeklyt. eosioweeklyt, but then we want to expand further, but that will
and I think it's a different thing though, right? Because like the OpenSea is such a dominant thing on Ethereum that doing another marketplace for NFTs, you're just going to be in an ocean of other people trying to do that, right? Whereas like on Wax,
doing another marketplace for NFTs simply doesn't make sense.
Right, but like on Wax, you guys
doesn't make sense.
Totally
no,
agree.
We're not winning on Wax, and we will.
No, but I think you are though. This is the thing, like you do that on like it makes sense for us to go to Ethereum because we don't have to capture that much market share to be successful, right? And even though there is a lot more sort of competition, over there in the metaverse space, but yeah, like staying on Wax, you guys went from like. There was only one, NFT marketplace who was doing literally everything. And now, like, honestly, there's a lot of people that like would bend over backwards to use Nefty instead of Atomic, us included, right? So you like there are days when you're crushing them. And I think that's only going to increase. And on other chains, you're going to be able to dominate the market share on those chains, which has a huge effect for you guys long term.
The other difference is, right, like we're utilizing blockchain. But like we didn't like build a protocol that's based on the chain that's all coded in, right? And so you guys have. So the easy lift for you guys is to branch across EOS.io. And EOS.io essentially like it's a little bit lacking with what exists out there, right? Like so like we have a friend who was on here. They were actually on Terra. They were releasing a cool science fiction project over on Terra. And it took them, a couple months to be able to find the right partner that could basically give them just the simple functionality of a pack drop, right? And so like that's something that's happening, on Wax quite some time. I guarantee you, Corey's checking the price of Proton.
No, I was actually. I'm cool. I'm not that cool. No, I was looking at the it's something called the Uplift DAO token.
Oh, you were doing that. I got some Uplift DAO token today. That was quite fun. But so like
that exists. That's fun.
I want to say, like, I think this is quite interesting because I find this, with Gener EOS and as well, and the Uplift. But I just realized this tonight. There's certain projects and certain people that meet, and I feel like there's a symbiotic process towards evolution and change that maybe NeftyBlocks and the Uplift world have, and they're aiming towards the same thing. They're doing pretty much the exact same thing, but they're doing it on two completely different wavelengths. Right. I mean, like the Uplift is trying to, bring people from multiple blockchains together through portals that link, a base layer metaverse across multiple chains and multiple platforms. Right. Like I'm having a hell of a time right now trying to write articles for basically every wallet I can think of. Where people have, posted these NFTs up in the world, right? Because we're on Wax, we're going to Ethereum, but there's people that have like Solana galleries, right? And so we want to be those people who, aren't just like, oh, hey, look at this, and then figure it out. We want to actually have some resources that allow them, to be able to kind of walk into the ecosystem, pick up a wallet that's, pretty trusted, highly in regard, right? You guys are doing it on a little bit of a different aspect. You guys are, successful in what you built on Wax, and now you're starting to branch out to other ecosystems to spread those NFTs for people who are supporting those other ecosystems around and bring it all kind of back home to the Nefty platform. And it's really interesting to see, you and Corey, especially when I kind of wish I would have been at Shitcoin, because like would have been the one time I would have shut my freaking mouth and just sat there in the corner and listened to you guys go, right? Because that just must have been amazing, right? And it's really awesome to be in the space with somebody who I feel has like a very similar vision with most of the people that I work with. The Uplift team, Gener EOS, like Nefty, there's a bunch more too, but they're all just here. They're all building. Take a hit, chin up, young lad. Oliver's over there. Let's go play some pickleball and come out for another day, right? Like it's really
what?
Sorry, wrong show. I get in my head.
I like. Whew, all right, cool.
No, but like it's really it's really good to see. So I'm super excited to see how this the tree keeps branching out. in a way, right? And you know, where these canopy branches overlap and touch and grow together, you know, and the mycelium pulls, you know, nutrients in from like miles away because of this relationship that Nefty and Uplift have built over time. Speaking of which, we haven't actually mentioned this. I'll drop it in here again, but you know, Corey mentioned this earlier. The happy hour this week will be based on NeftyBlocks, but Nefty is actually sponsoring season 6 of our rewards. You guys are going to be giving out tokens every week for the 6 weeks of season 6. You're doing a lot of other really cool things. I'm dropping the link to an article that we wrote about this and some of the other things that are coming up. Of course, that article is like old news because we didn't touch upon any of the groundbreaking shit that you threw at us this time. I mean, if you're a betting man, like start a meme coin that, like, you know, the total supply of the coin gets cut in half every time Juan comes on here and like blows us away with like some, you know, breaking alpha, because it's only not happened once, right? Like every time, Corey, that Juan's on here, he's just like,
brings heat. He brings heat. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe we should let him talk, Jimmy.
Yeah, sorry, man. I get excited. So yeah, what else is new? I mean, sorry, man.
What else is new? Well, this thing that I told you, we're reporting everything. We are about to release our auctions finally. I hope that this week they should be ready to start the final testing, and after that we will be able to release auctions, which are different to the existing auctions in the sense that these auctions are built more to also be able to act as a marketplace, because all the auctions have a buy now price, so you can buy as if it was any marketplace, but you can make an offer. And we also have Dutch auctions in place, which I don't know if you are familiar with Dutch auctions.
Yeah, maybe
you
describe
start at a price,
and
it's dropping until somebody buys. So that's what will be released very, very soon. And we are also focusing a lot on the blends at this moment. We have already discussed this with Corey a lot, but finally the tokens as ingredients are there, and we will be releasing also very, very soon. We are only in final testing also. So those two things should come extremely fast.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible, and I'm gonna get Flo and Chris into that channel on Telegram, because we want to use Nefty for our next odds and ends thing in a couple of weeks. So you know, you guys are gonna launch it, and then we want to hit it with like many thousands of auctions at once just to see what happens.
That's good. Yeah. Let's stress test it.
Yeah.
And so not so long ago as well, you guys recently updated your whole like whitelisting capacity too, if I'm not mistaken, for how things can go out. So you guys have got kind of like a whitelisting functionality built right into your drops, if I'm not mistaken too, right?
Yes, there's the whitelisting into the drops. There's a lot of things in the drops. The whitelisting will not be in auctions from day one, but they are built in a way that we will be able to include whitelisting for auctions very soon also.
Yeah, that's awesome.
that will be the next step there.
And when we had to do all that paperwork, now we can just use Nefty.
Yeah, this is the way. For sure.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions in the comments, please drop them in too.
Yes, absolutely, please. Yeah, and what else can I tell you? I can also update you guys on the rewards and the Nefty Quest. I have to say that has been amazing. The results have been extremely good. The market share we have won thanks to that, it's amazing. We would like that it could be even more, like 10 times more, and then we are okay. But it has been very, very good, I have to say. And as Corey always says, not financial advice, but if you are providing liquidity on the NeftyBlocks pool, you will be making, I think it's 117% APR or something like that. It's really crazy. And also staking Nefty.
It's so good. I want him to shut up. It's solid stuff. Yeah, I bet I just added a pile actually, in there, and mostly just because I want to be neck deep in Nefty. Like that's like the I feel very strongly about where you guys are going to be at in 3 to 5 years. Yeah, TC's the same way.
So the best way
it's the worst kept secret in Wax.
Yeah, but it's not that such a secret. Well, no, it's still a secret, I guess, because even if we are the deepest pool on Wax, I'm very disappointed on that, because even being the deepest pool, that pool only has the equivalent to $300,000 US.
Yeah,
come on! If we were on a different blockchain, that should have millions.
Yep.
No, in reality, and I think that's the game we all want to play. We don't want to play the game of the 300,000. We want to play the game of the 30 million, of the 300 million.
Honestly, this is why we got to go multi-chain. And I think when Wax hits $5, we're going to be talking about these numbers, right? And we will have been here from the beginning, and I think we're going to see 10 and 20x the sort of total value locked on some of these pools. But Wax has to fucking moon first. Like there isn't enough capital in the system to work, right? There just isn't. And I think that's going to end up changing. But this is another reason why companies like ours have to go multi-chain.
May I start complaining here?
Yes.
Sure. Okay, then I will go public with my complaints. Then I think Wax team, instead of focusing on building play-to-earn games, they should be focusing on having a really scalable blockchain, on making the onboarding as easy as buying a candy in any store. They should be working on that, not on building play-to-earn games that have proven to be a token pump and dump. So stop with that, Wax, please, and start working on the fucking blockchain. Start going to all the conferences, have a booth there, start onboarding developers, start doing your job, not our job. We don't want Wax to be an editor. We don't want Wax to be a publisher. We want Wax to help us make this blockchain awesome. And then we will build on top of this, and we will bring a lot of people, and we will get Wax not to $5. We will bring it to $10 or more. But do your job and onboard people, work on the blockchain, make it easy for everybody to be here. And we will keep on building here, but support us with what you have to do. Sorry for my ranting.
Denied. Apology denied.
Over. Ranting is over.
Denied. That's I mean, just like all the different comments were, they were all thinking exactly what I was thinking. If someone, you can go to YouTube after we publish this show, like after it's done, you can go back, you can watch that replay, right? If someone doesn't go find that timestamp and share that clip and that timestamp, then Wax is fucking dead.
47 minutes.
47. Right?
Give or take.
That for real, guys. Like that needs to get shared out a lot. I mean, not least of which because Juan, I think you missed your calling. That rant was I mean, my got my blood up. This nipple hard as a diamond right now. Like it's awkward. But no, like you're absolutely right. And this has been a criticism of the team behind Wax. A fair amount, right? Like they've done some things. Well, here we all are. Like that's great. But I couldn't agree more. The onboarding experience, has to get way easier. Not like adding in, friction. And if you're going to add in friction, if it's going to cost 25 cents to boot up an account, and I understand why they did it, right? Because Alien World's bots are just getting accounts, 1,000 a minute or whatever the hell it is, right? So I get that, but just make it really fucking easy. Just have a situation where everybody's got a credit card. You throw a credit card in there, you spend 25 cents, you're done, right? Just like.
Yes.
Just make it familiar, make it feel like any other interaction on the internet from Web 2, and we're gonna see onboarding go like crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, Jimmy, like doesn't Wombat basically have that set up now?
Yeah, so they do it for free, and you don't have to. They're a little bit different. We just published an article on it, but you don't have to pay anymore. And I mean, Basically,
yes, and
the other nice thing about Wombat too is I believe you can export your key too. So if you want to pay a little bit extra and take your key out and put it into another wallet, that's good. And you can't do that with the Wexlot wallet either.
Right? I think Wombat is an amazing project. We were we got introduced to Adrian thanks to Corey. But we met him in real life in Paris a few weeks ago.
So jealous.
It was amazing.
You guys are not allowed to meet people in Paris without me ever again. I saw, like, for the record, that's bullshit. But like as a joke. But yeah, I saw a picture of you, hanging out with Chan. I've never been in the same room as Chan. She's like one of my favorite people in this space. We're moving to Europe.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys hung out.
But you were talking about maybe having a conference in Amsterdam. Are you guys still thinking about that?
And we will do that. Initially, we planned, we wanted to do in June, but we realized it's too soon. So we will have the conference in September, and we are looking for people who want to come,
I'm coming.
sponsors who want to join.
I'm coming.
And great.
Yeah,
amazing.
We gotta do this. We gotta do this. We gotta do some sales before we can do any sponsoring. But like we're gonna. I want to go to there. Yeah, we'll do everything we can after we get some revenue booted up.
For the uplift, we're there, Corey. And
I'm leaving. I'm leaving in September. Maybe I can just go there first.
Yeah, just hit there first.
Cool.
Yeah, you're talking about coming to Canada. Yeah, that's definitely enough time for us to go. Like June would be too early because we're like so head down trying to boot up some runway here. But yeah, exciting.
Yeah, that's what we realized. September was a better moment to do it, so we will be able to plan better, to get more people on board, and yeah.
All right. Well, if we can be on the planning committee, help out in any way, like I need to get over there anyway. And I know
cool.
we should rope Chan into this too because she'll.
Yes. Chan has been telling me, Juan, I want to go to your event. Is it in June? What's the date? But
yeah.
We're postponing, and but I think we're postponing for the right reasons. So that's good.
Let's get the three of us in a room, and she's just gonna end up like accidentally adding just crap tons of value and making your job easier. It's what she does. She can't help it.
Yes.
Moon Bandits. Yeah. I am very excited. Me too.
Okay, so we actually have an AMA coming up, so we gotta go. But just come back again. Like come back tomorrow if you want. Like I don't know, but like come back next week. Because I just really want to have as much FaceTime of you ranting about things that don't work.
I was already excited. We've had an amazing week. I was pretty excited. For those of you that don't know, we set this ridiculous goal of getting 100 ETH projects into the 2 little ETH maps before we do the sale. We're already at 20. It's been 7 days. So that is going really, really well. We got some historic ones. So that's fun. But yeah, that rant got me more excited even than actually achieving this or potentially achieving this ridiculous goal. So more of that, please.
Right? And seriously, the first person to clip it and put it in the chat of our Discord and tag me, I'll send you an NFT. I don't know what it'll be.
Dude, we've got shards. 20.
We'll send you shards, sure.
Yeah, 20 shards to the first person that tags that rant and tags the Uplift World and me and Jimmy on Twitter. Done.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
all right. Thanks, Juan. Always a pleasure. And
thank you, guys.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.